Morning, everybody. We not officially starting the meeting. I'm just giving some of the guys some extra time to log in. My name is Carel Ballack. I'm president for the association. It's great to have you guys at another members meeting. We've got an interesting lineup today, but something that we don't have on the agenda that I thought, seeing that we are giving the guys a minute or two extra to log in, is something that's not on the agenda, but it's been kind of, I can't say it's on the back of my mind because it's something that we are faced with every day, and that is the prevalence and the growing presence of AI and artificial intelligence. I'm kind of at a place where I don't know where industry is going, and I think as the solar industry, we are seeing the AI landscape changing dynamically. Stuff we couldn't do a year ago, all of a sudden is automated. So I think it's going to have a profound impact on the renewable energy industry, and maybe not just renewables, maybe energy as a whole. We are going to be seeing devices that connect and communicate more intuitively. And I think we are going to see a rapid expansion in information as far as energy and renewable resources are concerned. So it's kind of an exciting but scary type of environment. If I listen to the news articles and the latest social media videos that are being circulated, then even the guys who are at the forefront of developing AI is surprised at the rate at which it's growing, and are surprised at the rate at which it's developing. So that for me is a fairly scary environment. One thing that AI, of course, won't be able to do is it won't be able to hold a screwdriver. So for now, it seems as if the trades are fairly protected. But um, how are you planning on integrating that into your business model? What are you doing to improve your marketing, improve your presence, improve your company's awareness on a social media and AI platform, taking AI into consideration? It's pretty scary. Um, it's pretty scary and it's pretty real. Stuff we couldn't do, I know I just said a year ago, but I'm looking at the kind of questions we ask now, and I know 3 months ago the answers would have been different. So I can see the learning and the development in the platforms over the last couple of months. Scary. Anyway, um, guys, welcome. I think we need to open the meeting officially. It's 4 minutes past 11. There are still some guys logging in, but that's okay. When they log in, they can just join the meeting. My name is Carel Ballack. I'm president for the Association for Renewable Energy Practitioners. We've got another exciting members meeting lined up, and I hope you guys will enjoy this session. We've got some, I don't want to say giveaways because giveaways never sounds amazing, but we've got some opportunities through an organization called AREP, where they want to expand your network. I know this sounds weird, and it always does. As soon as you start getting stuff that's available free of charge, there's got to be a kind of a question mark behind it. Helmut's going to tell us more about that. And then we've got, in the exciting world of recycling, we've got the guys from e-waste that's going to be giving us a presentation on some of the stuff that they're busy with as far as recycling is concerned. The installations that we are doing at the moment is going to last or will be lasting for quite a few years to come. But at some stage or the other, we are going to have to start recycling some of the products that we're installing today. And maybe some of the products that we've been installing over the last 20 years is due for replacement or due for an upgrade. So where do we go with that material? What do we do with it? We've got the guys from eWaste giving us a view on what they are doing with it. And yeah, hopefully you'd be able to use some of that information to come up with innovative ideas of what you can do to recycle and reuse equipment that may be broken or has come to the end of its life. If you have innovative ideas and you'd like to share some of it on the AREP platform, you're welcome to reach out to Mariesha and Anne, and we'll see how we can incorporate that into the member database, or how we can notify and inform other members of what you guys are busy doing. I think it's an exciting space, and there's always someone doing some weird stuff. So if you've got some weird ideas, I'd like to hear all about it, just as long as it doesn't involve perpetual motion and what do they call those, magnets? I'm sure most of you would have tried building a motor that runs on permanent magnets. Build a motor or generator, creates perpetual motion and continuous energy by not using energy. Yeah, right. So if you have weird ideas, you're welcome to let me know. We can see how we can incorporate them. I think the next person up is Mariesha. Mariesha, are you going to take us through the statistics and the updates?
Yes, perfect. Good morning, everyone. My name is Mariesha. I'm part of the AREP team. All right, as always, I'm going to give you a brief overview of what's happening in the industry and some AREP Association updates as well. So in terms of our membership statistics, we're standing at 5,081 members. That's 5,081 professionals like yourself that is committed to upholding the AREP Code of Conduct and our Constitution. So thank you for doing that, and thank you for being part of the association. The association cannot exist without its active member base. So sincerely, thank you for being here today, and thank you for taking an interest in your industry and trying to make a difference. We have 135 company members. Now, a company member gets featured on our website amongst other benefits. If you are interested in listing your company on the website and thereby securing additional exposure for your company, you're welcome to reach out to Anne. She'll pop her contact details in the chat, so you can do that easily. As Carl mentioned, it's always good to keep thinking about how you're going to secure your more exposure for your business, whether that be AI or as simple as just becoming a company member with AREP. Our founding members are 22. These guys have made a bit of a bigger commitment to AREP. One of their benefits is that they get access to limited information from the database, which means if they have legitimate industry interests that they would like to share with the database, then they can do that. We do put a lot of T's and C's around that. They can't just bombard everyone with marketing material. It has to be a legitimate industry interest that they do share with members. And then in the year 2025, we have had 319 P4 tests written. If you have not updated your P4 accreditation this year, please remember to do that. P4 accreditation is an informal accreditation that is upheld by the industry itself. So it has become a requirement for financing, for insurance. It's become a standard, a quality assurance standard that the industry itself has adopted and that it values. And having your accreditation in place just gives you such a better footing to stand in conversations with your clients. If you are P4 level 2 accredited, for instance, you get listed on our database, which is shared regularly on our different platforms to members of the public. And then we have added the P4 Level 3, which is still a fledgling program. We only have a few P4 Level 3 accredited practitioners across the country at the moment. But the idea there is to create a platform where we can have peers, peer-to-peer evaluations, if you can call it that. So if you are P4 Level 3 accredited, you are able to go and assess other installments based on the AREP hybrid test report. AREP will then pay you a fee to go and do that, and then to just submit that report to us for the new candidates that would want to get P4 Level 3 accredited. So it's a peer-to-peer peer review mechanism that we think is really valuable. It enables us to learn from each other and to work together and understand why we make certain choices and why those certain choices differ, or how our interpretations of the standards differ. It's a really valuable program, and we would encourage you to join the P4 Level 3 program as well. The reason the P4 Level 3 candidates are not specifically listed as such on the website at the moment is because we have quite a big database machine at the back end of our website. It's not just a website with pretty pictures, and we need to make some technical adjustments to how the accreditation is pulled through from each member on our database, and that is taking some time to develop. So once we have that done, your P4 Level 3 accredited status will also be very proudly displayed on the website. Then I just wanted to make sure that everybody knows about the different channels that you can reach us. If you want to stay updated with what we're doing, or you just want to be able to reach us a bit easier, you can join the WhatsApp members group. I've posted the QR code on the slide that you can just scan with your phone right now and then join the group. You can also follow us on LinkedIn and Facebook, and you can subscribe on our YouTube channel. And then if you are an AREP member, you automatically get added to our email database. So if you do have any email changes or things that you would like to update on the database, please reach out to Anne, or you can also do that on the arep.online website itself. You can easily log into your own profile. You can go change your address there. Was that a question or a mistake? Okay, cool. There we go. All right, let's move on to some news and updates. So in the past few months, AREP has been busy creating a few resources for industry. One of those things is the Solar PV Maintenance Service Level Agreement. So this is a template contract that you can use if you want to branch out into offering maintenance to your clients, and maintenance as a service, solar PV maintenance, which we all feel is quite a viable way to expand your business at the moment. Instead of just doing installations, maintenance has become quite a viable business avenue for our industry. So to enable you to kind of capture everything that you need to in a document to give to your clients, we have created a template. Carel is almost done going through all of the details and making sure everything is perfect. And then we will share the link to that document very soon. I'll probably circulate it in an email as well as share it on the WhatsApp group. A quick note on the WhatsApp group, it's not a chat group. So I know there are a lot of industry groups where there are discussions about certain topics. Our WhatsApp group is not a chat group. We only share information from our side. It is set to only admins can share information. So you're not going to be bombarded with different emojis or GIFs or people having opinions. It's just for AREP to be able to communicate with our database. Okay, so the maintenance SLA will be communicated there. Then we have spent quite a lot of time compiling a database with all of the SSEG contact people in every single municipality in South Africa. So we put that in a single database. It's basically a spreadsheet with all of the details of the person that's responsible for the SSEG registrations or requests in that specific municipality. And then we usually have a phone number and an email address in there as well. Jocelyn did all of that work. She literally phoned every single municipality in South Africa and held on and did the painful process of getting this detail together. So thank you so much, Jocelyn, for that. If you want to use it, I'm going to share the link a little bit later in the chat, and then you can go directly onto the database and get the information that you need, depending on which municipality you want to contact. You'll see some of them do not have any details. That would mean that we couldn't get someone. It either means that we couldn't get a hold of anyone, or it means that that municipality does not actually have an SSEG person dedicated. Then you could look, there's a second tab on the document that you can see there's a municipal manager detail as well. So if there's not a specific SSEG dedicated person, we did try to get the municipal manager's detail, and then you can talk to that person if you have SSEG related questions. Also, you can log on when you might have engaged with a municipality. We would really appreciate it if you would contribute to the database. So please log on, leave a comment saying, oh, this email address has changed, or this person is no longer there, it's now this person. Please, let's make this an interactive thing where you help us keep it updated, and it remains a very useful resource for everyone. Next, many of you will remember that we've had quite a few conversations already on the fire prevention and suppression guidelines that we are attempting to create specifically for solar PV in South Africa and for the South African market in general. So we have been compiling all of the discussions that we've had, all of the documents that's been shared with us. We've been putting that into a single document, trying to simplify that extremely. And then we will be circulating that draft document also very soon. Carel needs to just find the time to go through that in detail as well. As you can imagine, that's quite a lot of detail that needs to be double checked, and so we are making progress with that, but it will be shared as soon as we are done. And then, Carel, did you want to do the update on the electrical installation regulations? Then that would be it from my side.
Mariusha, thank you very much. Yeah, so it's interesting. There are always more documents that need to be completed than what we have time to allocate to all these different projects and initiatives. And it's quite funny. I created the service level agreement document with a group of guys from industry quite a couple of years ago. And the idea has always been to use industry, not use industry, but I mean, you guys own the sector. And the idea has always been that you guys are part of the changes that need to be made. And the concept, I thought, would be that someone would take the document and amend it. And we've had quite a few members that have downloaded the document, had questions about it, downloaded it, and amended it for their own use. And the concept has always been that once it's been amended, those guys would share the information back with AREP, but that hasn't kind of worked out that way. So what we are doing is just finalizing the document. We are going to put it up onto the AREP website. You guys would be able to download it, access it, and the same thing that applies to the service level agreement would apply to the electrical installation regulations document. So we had a meeting, you guys joined it, we had a lot of input from industry. We are going to take the feedback and input out of that meeting and just summarize it, put it into a proposed document that we can share with the Chief Inspector and the Department of Labor. I would like to complete the service level agreement before I focus time on the electrical installation regulations document. I foresee the service level agreement to be completed by next week. Then it will be the EIR, and the fire prevention document will probably only just follow after that, if you needed to have some kind of timeline on it. Mariusha, I think that kind of covers it.
If you do have, in terms of the electrical installation, any comments that you would like to circulate to us, please go ahead and email that to either myself, Carl, or all three of us. I'm going to post all of our email addresses in the chat. And then just lastly from my side, if you want to ask any questions during the course of the meeting, or you have a thought, please go ahead and post it in the chat and we'll get to those questions at the end.
Mariusha, thank you very much. What's the next item on the agenda? Helmut, are you there?
Are they? Yes, I am.
Excellent. Helmut,
as much as I can be in flesh.
That is excellent. To hear that your mic is quite clear. Waar is jy? Daar is jy. Okay, I've known Helmut for many years. Helmut is one of those guys that have been in industry for ages. And I was thinking about it, and I think I've known Helmut since about 2010. Maybe, yeah, I think it's about 2010. That takes us back 14 years, Helmut. That is insane.
That sounds about right.
Yeah, that's crazy. Helmut, so a lot of exciting things have happened. You are involved with Sarebi, and you have some amazing opportunities coming up. I'm going to leave you to it so you can share your information and your presentation with the members. Thank you very much.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Okay, let me just quickly share screen and can you see us? This is the brochure that was shared, I think shared with the members. So yes, I'm going to very quickly give you an introduction to Sarebi and what we do. That's going to be a couple slides, background, and then I'll talk a little bit more about the opportunity for completely fully sponsored exhibition opportunity at Solar Storage and Live a little bit later this year. So Sarebi has been operating in the clean tech renewable energy space for about 12 years now. We are an enterprise support development organization. We work with small businesses in the clean tech space, whether you do PV, solar thermal, recycling, circular economy, a variety of different things. And a core part of what we do is we support small businesses by providing or helping them build a smart back office. So part of the challenge that we've noticed or comes from research, in fact, a very recent Small Business Growth Index published by APSA shows that the majority of small and growing businesses struggle with admin and operations. And especially if you don't have a large team of people who can do billing and accounting and operations and stock and all those different things, it very often ends up being the director and maybe one assistant that tries to do all of those different things. So for that reason, we've developed a product or a solution where we provide virtual back office to small businesses. And with me having been in the industry for quite a number of years, I really understand the heartbeat and pulse of a solar installation business. Businesses in that has field services, ops, vehicles, stock, all of those different things. So we help by providing a virtual service. You outsource a variety of your different tasks and administrative burdens to us. We take care of it, and we're quite specifically working on doing that for less than 5% of what your turnover is. Now, I'm also quite aware that in the PV industry, if you're selling a large PV system or a large PV array, the 5% could be quite a killer. So we've got a number of different ways of assessing and understanding what the value and the cost of that is. In short, our back office support packages, and it could be a full turnkey package, it could be any one of those. We've got a team of accounting professionals. We take care of day-to-day accounting, bank recons, all of those different things, all of your payrolls, and all of your governance. any of your tax returns, whether that's a VAT registration, a VAT return, EMP 201s, EMP 501s, your annual returns, your BOs, the whole gamut. All of those we are able to take off your hands and make sure that it's always done, and proactively check and remind you that it's time for you to do your AR, your annual return, or your BO, or any of those. Financial management. It is a common problem with small businesses. We're working hard at making sure that the books balance, and then we need to do accounting, and very often we do accounting only from a compliance perspective, and we miss the opportunity that sits with using smart accounting software, smart accounting processes to actually extract data that we can use to formulate financial and our business strategy. So we have mentors and coaches who can assist with helping to take your accounting and your payroll and any of the other data that's generated in that business to help you manage your finances better from a strategic perspective, help you develop strategy, all of those different things. Also, human resources and industrial relations. And I think just about anybody in this room should agree with me that that is often one of the biggest nightmares of small businesses. The legislation is prohibitive. It is really, really difficult to manage industrial relations and people and all of those different things and still comply to the law. So we help with a variety of different functions, whether that is on the human resources side from a training perspective, upskilling, sourcing people, helping with interviews, helping with psychometric analysis, any of those different things, or from an industrial relations perspective, helping people through a process to ensure that you follow the law, that your contracts are up to date, and when things go wrong, to stay away from the CCMA. So it's we've been very successfully helping a number of people stay away from the CCMA. We do digital marketing on a number of different platforms, whether that is Google AdWords, LinkedIn, Meta AdWords, social SEO, website maintenance, website development, website hosting, domain hosting. There's a number of different things we do for companies. And then IT. Because IT is often a major problem, we help them with IT solutions. So we've got 3 different packages that suits different sizes, and the costing on those are always bespoke because it depends on which of these any customer would select. You don't have to take the whole, you can take only an accounting part or an accounting and an IT solution or various different things. But by and large, for a relatively full spec offering for a micro business, the cost would start at around 3,000 Rand a month. And for a fairly large company with revenue, core revenue outside product sales that exceeds 10, 15 million Rand, staff over 20 staff members, maximum cost would be in the region of around 20 to 25,000 Rand. So that's sort of the range. But the pricing is always bespoke because it depends on what works for the company and what services they subscribe to. From an IT perspective, part of what we have in our goodie bag is Odoo ERP, specifically for people in the operations environment. Odoo ERP offers what's called a field service module that allows you to digitize all of your job cards, all of your installation processes, your scheduling, your communications, your client management, sales, the whole works. It is by far one of the most affordable ERP software suites. A basic single user seat on Odoo costs around 275 Rand per person per month. And we cover that cost as part of your subscription cost. Google partner, we're full Google partners, and a Google Workspace license could be as little as 120 Rand per user per month. Between the two, it makes your business mobile, especially if you're out in the field and you're working in the field. it really, really, really helps digitizing working. And, just to give you an idea, I think I've covered this: accounting, payroll, and governance. It's all of your company registrations, VATs, beneficial owners, annual returns, ratio analysis, helping you to understand where your cash flow problems are, how to improve cash flow, compliant contracts, policies, digital marketing, social media, email marketing, Google Ads, all of the different platforms. And I'm almost done here. And just to give you an idea, from 2 companies that we've been supporting for the last 5 years, MB Fire has a number of vehicles on the road. They've gone from a facilities-based business pre-COVID to a completely virtual business by the use of Odoo and Google. And Mia Healthcare, as an example, is and they're not in the construction business at all, but they do a franchise dental network. They run a franchise dental network with vehicles on the road that's traveling from schools to corporates all the time. And with the ERP software, they're able to track and know exactly where each dental clinic is, what they're doing, how to bill their clients on site immediately, collect money via a Yoko, a connected payment mechanism, variety of different things. As an example, we've helped Mia grow from inception, from their very first vehicle. They now have 10 vehicles on the road, 1 in Namibia as well. And we support all 10 of those franchises plus the corporate. So that is what Sarebi does for a living, and I would be very keen for you to make contact if you're interested. If you have any pain points, I would be very interested to see whether we can help you solve problems in that respect. Then the nice opportunity that sits here, we are an association partner with Solar and Storage Live, which is being held in Cape Town International Convention Center, 15-16 October. As part of this, we have a number, somewhere between 20 and 30 fully sponsored micro exhibition booths. They're not a full 3x3. It is on a startup pavilion. So it is a desk and a space for you to put your branding up and display materials and contact some of the larger buyers, the institutional buyers who would be part of the other exhibitors, your larger exhibitors, and or conference delegates. This year it is, or the current one is this year live in Cape Town, and next year we will more than likely also help with the pavilion for both the Johannesburg and Cape Town exhibitions. Johannesburg happens in around March and Cape Town again in October next year. So if we're able to fill that booth or that pavilion, then we might be able to offer the same offer to entrepreneurs in the clean tech space again next year. The registration for this is on this link, which I believe you would have seen. I don't know whether this has gone out to the members. Carel, can you confirm whether this...
It has. Yeah, so we've just posted the link in the chat.
As well.
We've posted the link in the chat for this meeting, and we have mentioned it on the AREP WhatsApp members group. For those members that are not on the WhatsApp group yet, guys, I would recommend that you join the WhatsApp group. It's a quick and easy way to communicate. And I believe that we'll be circulating this through our newsletter.
As well.
Yes.
Fantastic. Yeah, so this is an absolutely amazing opportunity. Yes, it's not a full 3x3, but it is still a exhibition space in one of the premier energy events that is hosted in South Africa. And the fact that they're doing both the Cape Town and the Johannesburg event, there will also be opportunities because they do a similar one in Nairobi and also one in Nigeria, the capital of Nigeria, if I'm not mistaken. So there could be very interesting opportunities as a participant. And the only expectation for members of this is, because they are tracking the enterprise development component, they are specifically asking for people who's typically below 10 million rand a year in turnover. Now, with PV, that depending on what the size of your business is, that might be a push, because you're selling PV equipment that's quite expensive. So don't let that put you off. Drop an application into the application form in any event, and let's see whether we can fill the booth up. We're looking for about 20 to 30 exhibitors. Other than that, a little bit of financial information, your latest management accounts, a little bit of a head count, so that they can at least just have a baseline of the type of entrepreneurs that participate.
Helmut?
Yes. Are there any questions?
Yes, I'm coming through with questions. One thing that I just want to note quickly is these questions are going to have to come through fairly quickly, because we're busy running out of time for this particular meeting. One thing I just want to double check. So you are giving AREP members, guys, I know Helmut said 10 million rand, and it's possible that you could have one project where you do one installation at the value of 10 million rand. So if you have a small business and you want to have the opportunity to be part of a conference where you've got the opportunity to have an exhibition space. I know Helmut called it a pod. So have a place where you have a presence at a conference without it costing you anything. So in the back of my mind, I'm already trying to quantify the amount of spam that's going to be coming from Sarebi for offering this free of charge exhibition space, but Sarebi is there for the development of small businesses. So it's not as if I think Sarebi is doing this to get an email database so that they can spam people. Sarebi is really about the development of startup or businesses that are small, that want to scale. Am I right?
That is correct. Yes, Carel. And I can mention, we are officially a non-profit organization. We work on the development side. We're not a commercial entity. We don't compete with any of the commercial accounting firms or anything. And that's part of the reason why we partner with solar and storage, as an example, as to see how we give small businesses a leg up, a way to get the exposure, a way to get used to getting some marketing exposure. Because as anybody that's exhibited at a conference, if any one of you have ever done that, would know, exposure at a conference like this comes at a significant expense. Just a booth alone is anywhere between 50 and 90,000 rand for 2 days, and then all the marketing costs and all the other stuff associated. So it is truly a particularly good opportunity. And like I mentioned, I know full well that a medium-sized PV installation, SSEG installation on a spar easily tops 5 to 10 million rand in a single go. So do apply in any case. Let's get you an opportunity. There are, and it's one of those things. The organizers specified the cap, but I'm aware that cap might be restrictive. So apply in any case. Let's get you a space. And while we're talking about this, we are fully Papaya Poppy registered, compliant. We do not sell databases. If you give us your contact details, it stays exactly where it is. So rest assured, you're not going to get spam as a result of this.
Helmut, that is excellent. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for your presentation. I have to move on in the agenda to e-waste. We'll get through to the questions. There are a couple of questions in the chat box. None of them specifically relate to the presentation you did. Charles Lamini wanted to know, is AREP a legal entity with respect to with regards to renewables? If not, has AREP considered such an opportunity? And then what authority does AREP have on commercial and utility scale PV? And does is AREP only limited to domestic and commercial? So I can see where you're going with this, Charles. So AREP uses the AREP hybrid test report as the gauge for inspecting installations. We don't need to have any level of authority. We are simply inspecting the installations against the AREP hybrid test report. So that kind of sets the benchmark, and it gives guys an opportunity to make sure that their installations comply to a specific standard. I'm not saying the SANS 10142 Part 1 standard, a specific standard, and that standard is kind of determined by the hybrid test report. But I've got to jump through to the next presenter. Marcin, you are from eWaste Africa, and you have got some interesting information to share with us with regards to recycling. Are you there? Can you hear me?
Good morning. Yes, can you hear me?
There you go. Yes, absolutely. I can see your camera is on, so I can see you. Do you have a presentation?
Yes, I do. I hope everything will be working.
Can you see it?
Cool.
That's pretty cool. We can see your screen. You are welcome to fire away. I hope I hope 18 minutes is enough for you to do your presentation. Sorry, we might be a couple of minutes late.
I hope that I will be able to squeeze in that time. Good morning, everybody. My name is Dr. Marcin Durski. I represent eWaste Africa. I work as a research engineer, and today we are going to discuss how we as a South African e-waste recycler are handling the panels, solar panels that are coming to us at the end of life. So just to give you a quick sense of who we are, our company was established in 2014 as a first light bulb recycling plant in Africa. Then 3 years later, we expanded into Gauteng and started to create the nationwide collection network. In 2021, we started to recycle all of the kinds of electronic waste, and also received our ISO 9001 and 14001 accreditations. The most important thing regarding the meeting and the conversation that we have right now happened in 2023, as we started to recycle solar panels, and we started to offer that recycling as a service to all of the South Africans. In 2024, we expanded to Cape Town, also started to create collection points for the general public with help of one of the PROs and one of the retailers. And also we obtained our ISO 45001 accreditation. And this year we are currently commissioning the LPX plant. So that plant is designed to regain and recycle the luminophosphorus powder from the light bulbs to regain the rare earth elements. We are also looking into solar panels refurbishment, and we are currently commissioning the pilot facility for that. Also, by the end of this year, we are targeting to have our collection points network increased from 80 to 260 points. Additionally, as a part of our bio and our portfolio, we are currently servicing more than 300 customers, and we are proud to say that we've been able to create 42 permanent job emplacements. In terms of the waste e-waste that we are accepting in our facilities, as per the slide, you can see that our portfolio is quite wide, from the temperature exchange equipment via screens, solar panels, large and small appliances, cables to batteries. In terms of the economics of the e-waste recycling, we can separate two different streams, which is cost negative and cost positive. So those names for those streams are quite self-explanatory, I would say, but just to give you some extra details, in terms of the cost negative, we have to spend additional money to recycle those items. So those, for example, are light bulbs, solar panels, and batteries. And we need to work towards new technologies. We have to improve the existing technologies to make sure that this process is more and more cost effective for us. Also, there is the cost positive part of the e-waste streams, which are like, for example, laptops or appliances or inverters, which can be just stripped to the pieces. Metals can be separated and regained and reused in manufacturing, etc. So that on those streams we are making money. But to give you a better view why we are even thinking and why we are even recycling the e-waste, we have to discuss the requirements and what is the main motto that is powering that vision. So first and foremost, we have to recognize that e-waste is quite dangerous in environment. So e-waste can leach hazardous chemicals to the land and to groundwater, which has significant negative implications regarding public health and biodiversity in the regions where e-waste would be illegally dumped. Additionally, in terms of the recycling, we have to be aware that the natural resources are finite. Thus, having that additional source in the spirit of circular economy, the source of materials in spirit of the circular economy is quite necessary. Additionally, by recycling and by increasing the capacities and capabilities of the recycling units, recycling companies, we are creating jobs, which is very important in South African context. In terms of South African context, it's very important to notice that there is something called EPR, which is Extended Producer's Responsibility, and also legislation imposed a ban on every single piece of electronic waste from landfill. That includes solar panels as well, which means that every single solar panel at the end of life must be sent for a proper recycling process. Of course, we are also quite keen to stress that our actions are based in the 7 of the sustainable goals that you can see in the bottom of the slide. Also, just to add a little bit extra context, why recycling and why actions towards the environment are important. In 2009, the planetary boundaries were proposed as a product of Stockholm Resilience Center. As you can see in the picture on the right side of the slide, we already surpassed or transgressed through 6 of them out of 9. And the two additional one, which is our ocean acidification and atmospheric aerosol loading, we are heading to trespass those boundaries in the nearest future. The only one, which is also a spark of hope for us as a humanity, that we can deal with our problems and we can fix things, is that that the stratospheric ozone depletion, the big thing from the beginning of the century, is not moving forward, and in fact, it's regressing year by year. Additionally, it's very important to notice that we most likely are heading towards global crisis by year 2050. To make sure that we won't get to that crisis, that we would be able to prevent it, we need additional 3 billion tons of minerals and metals to be spent and used to manufacture wind, solar, and geothermal installations. We also need to ensure that we would increase our production of graphite, lithium, and cobalt by 500%. And also to make sure that we won't be reaching that crisis, we will need to increase our steel and cement production by 60 and 23%, respectively, by year 2050. In South Africa, we currently have 25 million PV modules installed. Each of those modules have a lifespan between 5 and 30 years, depending on the grade and supplier. So the more expensive, better grade modules are prone to last longer, obviously. According to the Green Capes report from 2004, next year we can expect that more or less 2,000 tons of those PV modules will be reaching end of life and will have to be recycled. And as I mentioned before, photovoltaic modules are banned from landfilling. Also, what is not really an ally here is that 90% of the modules are made of glass that is encapsulated in a laminate that is constituting the volume of the panels. So how do we recognize that we have end-of-life panels in our hands? There are four main things that are constituting waste photovoltaic modules. That would be cracks due to the manufacturing defects of poor handling, backsheet damage through delamination, holes, punctures, etc., hotspots due to the soldering issues or cracks, and also blown diodes, mostly caused by other issues. To recycle PV modules, what we as a recyclers are doing is removal of the frames, junction boxes, etc., that helps us to regain the materials used in that. For example, aluminium frames can be remelted and reused in manufacturing of new items in a spirit of a circular economy. Then the glass and the black mat that is constituting most of the volume of the panel is crushed. The glass is stripped and comminuted into a fine powder, which then we are using in manufacturing of our interlocking green pavers. Of course, we are also looking into testing and repair of photovoltaic modules, as I mentioned before. We are currently in the process of development and commissioning of the testing unit for recycling and refurbishment rather than recycling of the PV modules. And this process requires visual inspections, current voltage curves testing, and also electroluminescence testing. The last one is quite crucial because it helps us to find any defect that could escape during the visual inspection. Then the repaired modules are going to be additionally tested, rebranded, and we will be looking into selling them back into the market as used and retested modules. So in terms of the glass itself, as we established, 90% of the panels is glass. In South Africa, food grade glass is easily recyclable. So all of the jars, all of the bottles that we are using to store soft drinks, etc., that glass can be recycled quite easily without any additional problems. However, any other type of glass, for example, glass from light bulbs or glass from solar panels, is not very commonly recycled in South Africa. So we have to come up with the new ideas. We have to find out the economically feasible ways how to do it and how to scale it up. And one of those ideas that we at E-Waste Africa have, and that which we introduced in 2023 to South African market, is creation of the green interlocking pavers. So up to date, we recycled over 500 tons of PV modules. Aluminium and metals from them were recovered and then resold and reused into manufacturing of new items. Then the glass from the crushed laminate was used to replace approximately 40% of the virgin materials in interlocking pavers manufacturing. So technically, by virgin materials, we are talking mostly about sand, because crushed glass dust can be it's very similar to the sand. Our pavers were tested. The compressive strength of 10.5 megapascals was registered, and we are quite proud of that result, because it is technically higher than the regular pavers available on the market. And we also see those pavers as a sustainable green solution for Green Star buildings according to the Green Rate certification. Currently, we are able to manufacture approximately 900 tons per year in our facility in Pietermaritzburg in KwaZulu-Natal. But with the new facility in Cape Town coming to life next year, we will be looking into manufacturing of 7.5 tons of pavers per annum. Thank you very much for having me. And if you have any questions, I will be more than happy to answer.
Marcin, thank you very much. That was fascinating and very interesting. We do have one or two questions. No, we have one question. Sven wants to know, where do they sell the failed PV panels for recycling, and what is the price per panel?
Well, I will have to ask my CTO, who is here with us, because I do not have the correct answer in terms of the pricing. I am in recycling and in engineering department. Okay. Mark, could you please help me with that?
Marcin, while Mark is getting to the microphone, quick question. You guys are manufacturing the bricks. You don't specifically split the back sheet and the cells from the glass when you use it? I think I spoke to Mark yesterday, and if I remember correctly, he says at the moment you guys are just crushing it and integrating it into the bricks as a raw material as it is.
Yes, but as I mentioned before, we are looking into development and implementation of the improvements to our technologies. So we are looking into stripping of the backsheets, and we most likely will have that implemented by end of this year.
Okay. Yeah, no, I'm just curious. I saw in one of your photos, it looked like you had some solar panels that were photographed being on rolls. So it looked like
Yes,
the aluminium frames were stripped. Yes, that one. Yeah, crashing of glass and black matte.
yes,
Yeah,
yes. So aluminium frames are removed, and then just the glass and the black mat is further crushed and converted into fine dust to be able. Sorry.
Okay, so Sven's question has been answered by Mark. Mark, thank you very much. It says at the moment, e-waste charges for the recycling of PV modules, and the price is dependent on volumes and the type of module. Godfrey has an interesting question saying, how do we join the panel recycling business, and does the project qualify as a carbon project to create carbon credits? Carbon credits is something that over the last couple of months have been mentioned more than once, or it's come up in a number of meetings. Marcin, if they bring a lot of projects, a lot of panels to you guys, how does that affect carbon? And is the recycling business, does it have an impact on carbon credits?
Well, the recycling business in general has a lot of impact on carbon credits. We are, technically speaking, generating carbon credits with every single kilogram of e-waste that is processed. So yes, solar panels as e-waste are also contributing to that creation of carbon dioxide equivalent, and we are able to save CO2 emissions by recycling of the panels. Yes.
Wow, that is interesting. So how these carbon products or carbon credits work is that you register your solar system as a project in order to claim the carbon credits. But now, as soon as that project or that site is stripped to be recycled, there's another carbon exchange, a carbon credit exchange. That's interesting. I don't think we have time for it in this meeting. I see it's 2 minutes past 12 already. We have two more questions. The one is Alex saying, are there any known risks in recycling solar panels into furniture? So I think there are a couple of heavy metals in some of the solar panel technologies. Is there?
So, for example, there is a chemistry of solar panels that is based on cadmium and tellurium. Both of those metals are extremely toxic and shouldn't be used in any manufacturing processes whatsoever. There is a company called, if I am not mistaken, that would be First Solar. That if you have solar farm based on that chemistry of solar panels, you should rather contact them to have that sorted, because they are the only entity in the world that is dealing with this kind of panels. Neither us or any other recycler in South Africa won't rather be able to help that. Even if that help would come, that would be rather as a middleman in between the customer and the recycling facility overseas.
Okay. Thank you very much. We have another question saying, are there any health risks in crushing the panels and creating bricks? But I think that's kind of answered by your previous one, where you were talking about some of the heavy metals and chemicals that shouldn't be dealt with.
Well, technically, there is one, in terms of the crushing, there is one extra health risk that shouldn't be overlooked, which would be working with the dust. So it is very much important to have the workers wearing the respirators or dust, like those masks that preventing the small particles to reach the lungs. But in terms of the work with the crushed solar panels, that's probably it, except of the cadmium telluride, of course, that I mentioned before.
I understand, Marcin. Thank you very much. Thanks,
Thank
Mark,
you.
for answering one or two of those questions through the chat box. We have officially run out of time. Charles has asked a question. John Ledger has also asked a question: are refurbished panels, refurbished modules available and where? So I think Mark has also answered to it. At eWaste Africa, we are able to assist with cadmium telluride modules. Wow. However, there's a substantially higher charge for these modules due to their toxicity. So cadmium telluride, for those of you that don't know, if I remember correctly, was a thin film module, and they were quite popular about 5 or 6 years ago. And then cadmium telluride panels, for some reason, weren't imported anymore because of the drop in price for silicon modules. So the cadmium telluride modules became unaffordable in comparison to the price for normal silicon modules. Guys, I will have to leave it there. Unfortunately, John, you might want to contact the guys directly. We have to go. Charles, I will contact you and answer your question via a phone call, if that's okay. Charles wanted to know about competent installers, but I will have to take that up in a one-on-one call. Sven says, I believe that in the current economy, there would not be too much interest. Guys, we are going to have to leave it there. The opposite should be true in order to create work opportunities. Yeah, so Sven says there won't be too much interest in paying to dispose of PV. Sven, it's interesting if you look at the dynamics of how the recycling industry works, and maybe at the next meeting, this is a topic we should cover again, but just from viewing it from the other side. There are some interesting questions coming through, but guys, it's already 7 minutes past 12. We're well over time. Thank you very much for Helmut from Sarebi and Marcin from eWaste Africa. Guys, thanks for joining us. I think it was an interesting meeting with great information that's been shared. Looking forward to our next members meeting, and good luck with business. It's quite hectic out there. Thanks, guys. Keep well. Bye.